What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and this one I want to give you guys a quick update on Tesla and the overall market. Let me first mention I am not a financial planner. Take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks, and the offer ends in just about 4 days from now. Anyways, for Tesla, as we were opening up, we had some kind of like bearish looking signals for Tesla stock as we were kind of dipping. And right before the market ended up opening, we actually saw Tesla get bought back up. And we saw a lot of bullish news that just came out for Tesla. So I want to break down what the bullish news is. We're seeing a lot of headlines. Some of it actually involves Warren Buffett and how this is actually helping Tesla push and kind of outperform the market right now. Now, the first thing worth noting is the fact that at 11:30 a.m., we have some bill auctions coming out, so watch for volatility for Tesla in the markets then. But I'm seeing a lot of headlines that are coming out, and this all started coming up right as the market was about to open. Tesla's gone to Shanghai approval to test its advanced driving assistance. That's great news for Tesla. This actually came out yesterday, but that's something else that's worth noting. But that's actually very, very interesting with these pieces of news coming out. So, getting this approval is going to be very useful for them to continue to develop driver assist technology, not to mention their FSD and such. And it's going to help them build a lot more revenue, at least as years go on. Now, there's also been a lot of news that came out that Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway has trimmed its stake in the Chinese EV maker BYD to 6.9%. And this is actually leading to a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement for Tesla investors. And this is part of why Tesla is also holding up very well. I'm seeing a lot of talk about this. This is getting lots and lots of headlines. But this doesn't necessarily mean that he is siding with Tesla. He's going to start buying Tesla. That doesn't guarantee anything like this. But it's something else that's worth noting. So he basically sold an additional 1.3 million listed shares of BYD for about $39.8 million, reducing their holdings to about 6.9% from 7%. It's not really that much. It's a very, very small little reduction, but this is getting some investors kind of excited, and it may even lead to some speculation about him trying to kind of diversify more, maybe start to change his investments. But we'll see. It's not really leading it to anything too crazy. The Model 3 long range appears to be eligible for the $7,500 tax credit, which is actually good news for Tesla. With the tax credit, it would cost a smidge under $40,000, which would be very, very awesome, at least for Tesla investors, Tesla, enthusiasts, and people who are trying to buy up, these different models and such. So very, very interesting news with the all-wheel drive also potentially being eligible for, or since it hasn't been eligible for the $7,500 tax credit, with these other models potentially being eligible, that's going to incentivize more growth for Tesla. And on top of all of this, with the debut, with the next $7,500 tax break being applied to the point of sale, that's going to help bring a lot more reduction in prices for Tesla. So that's going to be very useful. So Tesla's found a way to make the long range Model 3 battery fall under the updated rules of the Inflation Reduction Act. And that's going to help bring prices down, which is going to help get a lot more growth for Tesla here in the USA. So that's good news for them. So awesome stuff. And there's also some news right over here about how, whoopsies, there's been a lot of talk about how there could be a minor price reduction because of this. Once again, helping to get a lot more growth and such for the Model 3 long range. That's for the dual motor and the all-wheel drive as well. So they're all getting these little price reductions. Something else that's worth noting, at least on Tesla's website. So interesting stuff. Hopefully this helps bring in demand as well. And with these small adjustments that are being made, this is going to once again help incentivize more growth. So we'll see how things go. Look at the market right now. The market's kind of choppy, and Tesla has been trying to push just a bit amidst all this news. So a lot of bullish news came out before the market ended up opening. So Tesla has resistance to be watching around this 182 area. If we break this, I'll be looking at 185, and our support is currently at 180. Lose this, then we have our next support all the way down towards 176. Overall, Tesla's holding up relatively well now. Amidst all this bullish news, I'll be watching 182 as a key level. So I'll be watching to see how well Tesla ends up approaching this level and how it ends up doing. But in my personal opinion, I think that for now, Tesla's a little bit more range bound. There is potential for it to try to push higher if we could break past 182. But I think that we're going to spend a lot of time between 180 and 182 for today, as the market is just very, very choppy. Now, for SPY, we're just completely trading sideways so far since the market has opened. But you can see on the 30-minute time frame, we're on a bit of a decline. We have this very, very important range right now. We have support around 542. We're actually seeing some buyers trying to defend this area. I mean, resistance around 542.35. We've been very, very stuck in a very tight range so far this morning. Watch 542. If we lose this, we will continue to decline a bit. I'm seeing some weakness in the chart because of that, but we'll just have to see how things go. For the triple Q, we're also just kind of shuffling around 479. If we lose this, we have critical support right over here. This is where our pre-market level happened to be. Lose 479, we'll be dipping all the way down to lower levels. We also have key support at 478, and we have resistance around 479.5 to 480. Now, resistance is getting tougher for the markets, so we'll have to see how we end up developing here, but just be careful, guys, and consider the fact that the market is just kind of trading sideways for now, so just be patient with it. For Apple, we're also trading kind of sideways within the range. We have this 214 to 215 resistance area, and then 212.5 is support. All day, it's just been going back and forth and back and forth, and we're still kind of stuck for the time being. For Nvda is actually, like I said earlier, it has some tough resistance in the low 130s, and we're just continuing to shuffle as we have this gap to fill below. So I think that Nvda is going to shuffle a bit. It could actually dip a little bit more, which could drag the Q a little bit lower. But for the most part, I think it's just going to shuffle. Watch 131.5 or so around that area as support, and 130 is the next support below that. And we have resistance around 132.6. We're still kind of stuck. For a few more, let me just double check one more thing. For Bitcoin, I know a lot of people are interested in this. We're actually dipping a little bit more on Bitcoin. We're approaching key support 65,000. We'll see if this holds or not. If we lose this, we could be dipping all the way down to the 63,000s. So there is a risk of some downside, in my personal opinion. Let me just double check this. Super Micro, we're just trading sideways. We have support currently around 830. If we end up losing this, I'll be looking for a dip towards 816.5. I mean, resistance all the way up here around 844. So I do see potential for this to dip a little bit lower and just continue to trade sideways. But I do see some downside potential for this. For Coinbase, we're also dipping a bit exactly as we predicted. Make sure you watch the support all the way down here around right here around this 235 area. If we lose this, we'll be dipping all the way down towards 232. And we have resistance all the way up towards 238. So I do see a risk of some downside. For Amzn, we're just trading sideways for now, but make sure you watch 182 as key support. Our resistance around 183. We're just kind of stuck within this range. If we lose 182, then we're going to turn more bearish. So I'll be watching for that very carefully. I am seeing some weakness in the charts. Meta has lost 500. We got to try to get back above the turn bullish. If we failed to hold or break above that, we'll be dipping all the way down to support around 496. If that fails us, make sure you guys check out 496 as critical support. Otherwise, we're going to be dipping all the way down to 492. I mean, resistance at 500 and 503, so we look more bearish and better for now. All right, so for the others, like AMC and GameStop, still trading sideways, still shuffling on GameStop. Same thing with AMC, it's not really doing much, so we have to give this more time. But there is still potential in these stocks to run during the summer. We just have to give it even more time. So with that being said, thank you all so much for listening. Tesla is showing strength while the market is continuing to kind of shuffle and trade sideways. Tesla is also range bound, but we'll just have to give it more time. And as you guys can see, there are buyers trying to push it a little higher, but as we get closer to 182, we're kind of like shuffling. So give it some time and see if we could break 182 or not. Otherwise, we're just in this range. And just know that the reason why Tesla is now outperforming the market is because of some bullish news. So just want to give you guys a very, very quick update for that. Anyways, I'll see you guys in a few hours. Peace out.